seasons change, and so does the food. Let's head to the kitchen with Chef Mark Molinaro, who shows us one of his winter favorites.
So one of the things I grew up with when it's cold out was green bean casserole. And that was like one of the things I look forward to every single year. So here is a healthy version of that as opposed to using cans and frozen beans. Here's a nice healthy version that we've spiced up a little bit with a little bit of sharp Cabot cheddar. And it's really, really easy. So a little bit of butter. And we're going to sweat some onions. This is just small diced onions. I'm going to cook these down until they're tender and soft. Should take about 6-7 minutes. Once your onions are nice and soft and tender, we're going to add some diced mushroom along with some fresh chopped thyme in there. And here you can use regular button mushrooms, you can use cremini mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, whatever you like. And that'll cook down for about another 2-3 minutes. This is all done over medium-low heat. We're not trying to develop any color here. This is really just sweating process, which extracts the moisture out of the mushrooms and the onions and really sweetens everything up. So once those mushrooms are cooked down, we're going to add some flour. And this is where we're making our thickener. In the casserole, you don't want it to be too loose or too thick. You want it just right. So we're going to sprinkle some flour in here. And this is going to be part of our roux that we're making. And roux is a thickening agent of butter and flour mixed together. And you're going to add just enough flour until it looks like wet sand. Then you want to cook that for about 6-7 minutes to cook out the raw flour taste. Once the flour is cooked out, you want to deglaze with a little bit of sherry. You can use white wine if you don't have sherry. No need to go to the store and buy some. You can use white wine. You can use a little bit of brandy, whatever you like. You could use apple juice if you didn't want to use any kind of alcohol in there. Once that's all cooked off and nice and dry, now we're going to add some chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock. You can use water if you wanted to, but chicken stock gives it a nice rich flavor in there. And you'll notice as it's cooking down, it's going to get really thick. That's the roux working. It's going to start out really thin, and as it comes to a simmer, it will thicken on you. We're going to add some cream, and then we'll cook that down. Again, this is the base of our sauce, the sweet onions, the mushrooms, fresh thyme. I'm going to season a little bit now with salt and black pepper. A little bit of salt. Black pepper, I prefer fresh ground black pepper as opposed to buying it pre-ground. It has a lot more of the floral notes and the rose that comes out of pepper, all those interesting aromas. And the pre-ground pepper, just you lose all that over time. So if you can invest in a pepper mill, it's really worth it. So once that comes back up to a simmer, you can see how thick and bubbly that is. Now we're going to add the green beans, as well as the sharp Cabot cheddar cheese. We're going to lower our heat now and just fold everything together. And actually, I'll turn the heat off. Just combine everything. So you have these fresh, snappy green beans, the soft mushrooms, the sweet onions, the sharp cheddar, and this nice gooey sauce in there. And there's only one thing missing after that, and that's something crunchy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put it in a baking dish. You can do this in a pan, metal pan. Doesn't have to be ceramic. You can use whatever you have. Every ounce counts, so make sure you get all that cheese sauce out of there. And so we have this nice, fresh, cheesy, mushroomy mixture, and the only thing missing is this crunch. So here we have some breadcrumbs that have a little bit of paprika on top, and they have a little bit of butter tossed in them. So when they brown up, they're going to be nice and crispy. They're going to add a nice crunch texture into this dish. So that's the finished dish, and then you'll bake this at 425 until it's nice and bubbly and oozy, and you'll see the cheese just melting all around it. And I happen to have one ready for you, so I'm going to put this one in and bring that one out so I can show you what it looks like. So here's the finished product, and you can see the cheese is just oozing out of there, and it's bubbling. And these are great. You can put a lid on this, bring it to your party. You could bring it to your party uncooked, and then bake it right there on site. So it's a really easy, fun thing to bring that people will just devour. Hope you enjoy it.
Up next, we'll meet NAU film student Megan Babbitt, who is going big places.
I really didn't know what it was. All I knew was like it said Sundance, and like I know Sundance is like a pretty big deal.